Welcome to another deep dive. Looks like you've been spending some time with Ralph Ellison's Invisible Man.
Oh, a fantastic choice.
A phenomenal book, right?
Absolutely.
We're going to explore its themes,
Wonderful.
symbolism,
Yeah,
and I'm sure you'll walk away with some thought-provoking insights.
I have no doubt.
I mean, how can you not be struck by that opening line? I am invisible, understand, simply because people refuse to see me.
Right.
It just grabs you and sets the stage for this incredible exploration of identity.
It's such a powerful declaration.
Yeah.
And, it goes beyond a simple physical invisibility.
Right.
Ellison is using invisibility as a metaphor for the experience of feeling unseen and unheard by society.
Yeah.
The narrator's surrounded by these mirrors of hard, distorting glass,
Oh, yeah.
reflecting how societal forces twist the way people perceive him.
Right.
It's like he's trapped in a world that refuses to acknowledge his true self.
It makes you question, how much of our identity is shaped by how others see us?
That's exactly it.
And then, the narrator's attack on the man who insulted him.
Oh, yes.
So jarring. The man doesn't even realize he's being attacked.
Yes.
Which adds this whole other layer to the narrator's invisibility.
That scene is crucial because it exposes the rage
Yes.
simmering beneath the surface of the narrator's invisibility.
Yeah.
It's not just sadness or resignation.
Right.
It's this potent anger born from being constantly ignored and dehumanized.
Right.
Ellison is showing us the psychological toll of societal invisibility.
It's almost as if that anger becomes a part of his identity, too.
Absolutely.
And speaking of places that shape identity, there's that striking contrast between the hostility of the outside world and the narrator's description of his basement hole as this warm, safe space.
Yeah.
It seems counterintuitive.
That hole is such a complex symbol.
Right.
Yes, it represents isolation, but it's also a space for the narrator to confront his own thoughts and experiences without the distortions of the outside world. Think of it as a symbolic womb,
Okay.
a place where he can potentially be reborn with a new understanding of himself.
So it's like he's intentionally putting himself in a position to see himself more clearly.
Exactly.
And speaking of distorted perceptions, that battle royal scene with the blindfolds,
Oh, yes, yes.
brutal. It's like a
Absolutely.
microcosm of the dehumanizing forces the narrator's up against.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The blindfolds represent the forced ignorance imposed on the young black men, making them pawns in a game orchestrated by those in power.
Yeah.
It highlights how systems of oppression often rely on keeping people blind to the reality of their situation.
But even as he's enduring this humiliation,
Right.
the narrator is focused on the speech he's prepared.
Yeah.
A speech that actually upholds the very system that's oppressing him.
Right.
What's Ellison doing there?
It's not about praising the system.
Okay.
It's about exposing the insidious ways in which racism operates.
I see.
The narrator has internalized the values of the white establishment, believing that if he just plays by their rules, he can achieve success.
Okay.
But Ellison is showing us how this internalized racism is another tool of oppression, keeping the oppressed complicit in their own subjugation.
So it's like a survival mechanism,
Yes.
but a deeply problematic one because it reinforces the power structure.
Absolutely.
And then comes that electric rug scene, the scramble for money,
Oh, yeah.
the desperation,
Desperation.
the pain.
The pain.
Such a powerful metaphor.
It's a brutal depiction of the economic exploitation that's often disguised as opportunity. Ellison is laying bare the illusion that black people can achieve economic equality in a system rigged against them.
Right.
The electric shocks represent the pain and humiliation inflicted upon them as they try to navigate this rigged system.
It's like they're being punished for even trying to succeed.
Absolutely.
And this leads us to the ultimate betrayal.
Oh, yes.
The narrator is expelled
Yeah.
and seeks help from Dr. Bledsoe, a
Yeah.
man he admires. Yet, what does Bledsoe do? He turns his back on him.
Dr. Bledsoe embodies the complexities of black leadership within a racist system.
Okay.
He's achieved a level of success,
Right.
but he's done so by playing by the white establishment's rules.
Right.
His betrayal of the narrator highlights the compromises black leaders often had to make, and the limitations of working within a system designed to uphold white supremacy.
Yeah.
He's stuck in a no-win situation.
So he perpetuates the cycle of oppression,
Right.
even though he's a victim of it himself.
Yeah.
The advice he gives the narrator, be humble, subservient, yet strive for success.
Right.
It's so contradictory.
This contradiction gets to the heart of what W.E.B. Du Bois called double consciousness.
Okay.
Black individuals are constantly navigating two worlds, the white world and the black world.
Right.
And they have to code switch to survive.
Yeah.
It's a burden, a constant source of tension, and it often leads to conflicting internal narratives.
And as the narrator grapples with these contradictions, is this constant motif of blindness. Both literal and metaphorical.
Yeah.
What's Ellison getting at there?
Blindness represents the limitations of perception.
Yep.
It's not just about physical sight.
Right.
It's about the inability to see the truth.
Okay.
Both about oneself and about the world.
Right.
Ellison is highlighting how prejudice distorts reality and prevents individuals from achieving true self-knowledge. He's asking us to confront our own blind spots, the ways in which we might be complicit in perpetuating systems of oppression.
Wow.
Yeah. It's fascinating how Ellison uses the narrator's experiences to illustrate this idea of blindness. You know, he goes from that humiliating battle royal to being expelled, then drawn into the Brotherhood, and eventually caught up in the riots in Harlem.
Wow.
Each experience is like a layer being peeled back, forcing him to confront his own blindness.
It's like he's being thrust onto different stages.
That's a great way to put it.
Forced to play different roles.
Yeah.
Each one revealing another facet of the societal masquerade.
Exactly.
And it's through these experiences that he starts to see the limitations placed upon him.
Exactly. His expulsion from college is a turning point.
Yeah.
He realizes the system he thought would uplift him is actually designed to hold him back.
Right.
And it's not just white society.
Right.
Figures like Dr. Bledsoe, who represent a kind of complicit black elite, also betray him.
So he's caught between these two worlds.
Yes.
Each one demanding a different version of himself.
Absolutely.
And then the Brotherhood appears.
Yeah.
Seemingly offering a solution.
Right.
Yeah.
On the surface, it looks that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They give him a purpose, a sense of belonging.
Yeah.
But that turns out to be another illusion, doesn't it?
The Brotherhood, while claiming to fight for equality, still tries to control the narrator. They want to mold him into their idea of a black leader. Strip him of his individuality. It's a different kind of blindness. It's an ideological blindness that can be just as damaging.
They're essentially asking him to put on a new mask.
Exactly.
A more, acceptable mask.
Right.
Which just perpetuates the cycle of invisibility.
Absolutely.
He's still being denied the right to define himself.
And as the novel progresses, the narrator begins to see through this manipulation. He questions the Brotherhood's motives and methods, ultimately rejecting their ideology. He starts to understand that true liberation can't come from conforming to someone else's vision.
So this rejection leads him back to the streets of Harlem, where he encounters Raz the Exhorter and his fiery call for black separatism. It's like going from one extreme to another. From the Brotherhood's attempt to control his narrative to Raz's call for a complete break from the white world.
The juxtaposition of the Brotherhood and Ross is crucial. Ellison isn't endorsing either ideology. He's presenting them as two imperfect responses to the same problem. The systemic racism that denies black individuals their full humanity. He's asking us to grapple with the complexities of the situation, to consider different perspectives without easy answers.
It's like he's saying, here are two paths. Neither one perfect. Choose wisely. But what's interesting is that the narrator doesn't fully embrace either path. He ultimately chooses to embrace his invisibility. It seems counterintuitive. But isn't that, in a way, its own form of rebellion?
Precisely. By embracing his invisibility, the narrator is rejecting the roles that society has tried to impose on him. He's reclaiming his power, choosing to define himself on his own terms. It's a radical act, a refusal to be confined by the limitations of others' perceptions.
It's almost like he's saying, you may not see me, but I exist.
Exactly.
And I will determine my own story.
That's it.
But how does one find true visibility in a world that insists on ignoring you?
That's the central question Ellison is exploring. It's a question that goes beyond the specifics of race and touches on the universal human need for recognition and self-actualization. He's arguing that true visibility comes from within, from embracing one's own individuality and refusing to be defined by external forces. It's about recognizing and asserting your own inherent worth,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of societal pressures to conform.
So it's not about seeking validation from a world that's determined to keep you invisible.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It's about a radical act of self-acceptance.
Yeah.
A recognition that your worth isn't contingent on how others see you.
Right.
It's about understanding that true freedom lies in defining yourself on your own terms.
Yeah. And that's where Invisible Man transcends the limitations of its historical context
Okay.
and becomes a timeless exploration of the human condition.
That's such a powerful insight.
It is, isn't it?
But the narrator's journey isn't a straightforward path to self-discovery.
No.
He encounters a range of characters
Yeah.
and experiences that challenge his worldview.
Of course.
And one of the most intriguing is his encounter with Reinhardt,
Reinhardt, yes.
a man who seems to effortlessly navigate Harlem's underbelly.
Right. He just blends right in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He embodies multiple identities,
Uh-huh.
seamlessly blending in wherever he goes.
Yeah.
Reinhardt is a fascinating character. He's almost like a chameleon,
Yes.
shifting his appearance and persona to suit his needs.
Absolutely.
What's Ellison trying to convey through this character?
Reinhardt represents the fluidity of identity
Okay.
and the complexities of navigating a world
Right.
that often forces individuals to conform to predefined roles.
Mm-hmm.
He's a master of manipulation.
Able to exploit the expectations of others for his own benefit.
Right.
And his encounter with the narrator forces him to confront the limitations of his own understanding of identity.
It's like Reinhardt exposes the artificiality of these societal categories.
Yes.
The ways in which we perform our identities based on the expectations of others.
He highlights the potential for both positive and negative manipulation
Right.
in a society that privileges appearances over substance.
Yeah.
It's a reminder to be wary of those who try to define us based on superficial traits
Right.
and to be critical of the roles we're expected to play.
It's almost as if Ellison is saying that true visibility requires more than just being seen.
Yes.
It's about recognizing the masks we wear
Uh-huh.
and the systems that try to keep us confined within those masks.
And it's about understanding that true liberation involves shedding those masks
Okay.
and embracing the complexities of our own unique identities.
Yeah.
It's about refusing to be reduced to simple categories
Right.
and reclaiming the right to define ourselves.
It feels like Ellison is constantly challenging our perceptions,
Oh, absolutely.
forcing us to look beyond the surface and grapple with the complexities of identity,
Yeah,
race, and power.
for sure.
And he does this through so many layers.
Right.
Symbolism,
Yeah.
satire, wordplay.
Yeah.
It's a novel that demands to be reread and re-examined.
And that's one of the hallmarks of truly great literature.
Right.
It engages you on multiple levels, intellectually,
Yeah.
emotionally, even aesthetically.
Right.
Invisible Man isn't just a story.
Okay.
It's an experience that stays with you long after you finish reading it.
One of the most striking things about the novel is its use of humor,
Oh, yeah.
even in the midst of such painful experiences.
Absolutely.
It's not just a bleak portrayal of suffering.
Right?
There's this undercurrent of wit and irony that keeps you engaged.
That humor is a form of resistance. A way for the narrator to maintain his sanity and agency in a world that constantly tries to diminish him. It's a reminder that even in the face of oppression,
Yeah.
the human spirit can find ways to subvert and transcend.
So it's like he's using humor as a shield,
Yeah,
deflecting the blows of racism while simultaneously exposing its absurdity.
absolutely.
And it's through this combination of pain,
Yeah.
anger, and humor
Yeah.
that Ellison creates such a complex and compelling portrait of the Black experience in America.
And it's a portrait that continues to resonate today. The
Right.
themes of invisibility, identity,
Yeah.
and the struggle for recognition
Right.
are as relevant now as they were when the novel was first published.
Absolutely.
It's a reminder that the fight for social justice is ongoing and that each generation must find its own ways to challenge systems of oppression.
So what can we take away from this deep dive into Invisible Man?
Yeah.
What insights can we apply to our own lives and our understanding of the world?
I think the novel offers a profound meditation on the nature of perception
Okay.
and the power of self-definition. It challenges us to confront our own biases, to recognize the ways in which we might be complicit in perpetuating systems of invisibility.
Yeah.
And to strive for a more just and equitable world where everyone is seen and heard.
It's a call to action.
It is.
Not just to fight for social justice, but also to examine our own hearts and minds.
Right?
To challenge the ways in which we might be contributing to the invisibility of others.
And it's a reminder that true visibility comes from within.
Yeah.
From embracing our own unique identities and refusing to be defined by the limitations of others' perceptions.
It's a powerful message.
It is.
And one that resonates deeply.
Yeah.
So where do we go from here? How do we continue to engage with these ideas and make them a part of our lives?
Well, one way is to continue exploring literature that grapples with these themes.
Right.
If you're looking for similar explorations of social injustice, identity, and the African-American experience, I recommend checking out Richard Wright's Native Son.
Okay.
And James Baldwin's Go Tell It on the Mountain.
Great suggestions.
These novels offer powerful and thought-provoking perspectives that complement Ellison's work.
They provide different lenses through which to view these ongoing struggles.
Absolutely.
And offer further insights into the complexities of the human experience.
For sure.
And as we continue to read, discuss, and engage with these works, we can keep the conversation going.
Absolutely.
Challenging ourselves and each other to strive for a world where everyone is truly seen and heard.
Because that's the ultimate goal, isn't it? To create a world where the invisible man can finally step out of the shadows and be recognized for who he truly is.
Absolutely. And that journey starts with each of us.
Yeah.
With our willingness to see,
to
listen, and to challenge the forces that try to keep others invisible.
I agree.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Ralph Ellison's Invisible Man.
It's been a pleasure.
We hope it sparked some new ideas and inspired you to continue exploring the power of literature to illuminate the complexities of the human experience